It was an ordinary morning, or at least that's what Maria thought when she walked into the downtown bank where she had been a loyal customer for over a decade. She wore her usual casual attire, a cozy hoodie, jeans, and sneakers. Nothing extravagant. Her goal was simple: withdraw a small sum from her account, pay a few bills, and get on with her day. What transpired over the next 15 minutes, however, would change everything she thought she knew about justice and how far a person can be pushed before they take matters into their own hands. Maria had always trusted the bank. She had her savings, checking, and even a small business account there. The bank had been reliable, never giving her reason to doubt its operations. The staff, most of whom knew her by name, had always been polite and efficient. However, on that particular morning, everything went south. As Maria approached the counter, she was greeted by a new face. The bank manager, Mr. Thomas, a man in his late 40s with a stern look and a suit that screamed authority. He looked at her, nodded without much enthusiasm, and asked how he could help. Maria smiled, explaining that she wanted to withdraw a few $100s from her savings account. "Sure," Mr. Thomas said, but his tone lacked the usual warmth she was accustomed to. "I'll need to check your ID and verify your request." Maria handed over her ID and waited. Minutes passed, but Mr. Thomas was still typing away on his computer, glancing at the screen every few seconds. His expression grew more frustrated, but Maria, ever patient, waited in silence, thinking perhaps there was a minor issue with the system. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Mr. Thomas looked up at her with a blank stare. "I'm afraid I can't authorize this withdrawal today," he said, his voice cold and distant. Maria blinked in disbelief. "What do you mean?" "There's no problem with my account. I'm afraid there's been a hold placed on your account," he replied, still not offering any further explanation. Maria's mind raced. She had been a loyal customer for years, and there had never been any issues with her account. "A hold? Why? I haven't been notified about any hold," she said, trying to keep her voice calm, though she could feel the frustration bubbling inside. Mr. Thomas, however, wasn't interested in explaining. "I don't have all the details, but the system has flagged your account. You'll need to contact customer service to resolve this." Maria's heart sank. This was the last thing she expected. "Are you sure there's nothing that can be done here?" she asked, her voice trembling with the first signs of anger. "I've been banking with you for over a decade." "I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do," he said curtly, turning his attention back to his screen. Maria stood there for a moment, frozen. The disappointment and anger surged within her, but she refused to lose her composure. "Can I speak to someone else?" she asked, hoping for a solution. "Anything to fix this bizarre situation?" "I'm the manager here," Mr. Thomas replied, his tone growing dismissive. "There's no one else to speak to." Maria's frustration hit a boiling point. She felt humiliated. How could he treat her this way? Was it because of the way she was dressed? The young woman in front of him in a hoodie and sneakers? Was it some kind of prejudice she hadn't seen coming? The question swirled in her mind, but something inside her clicked. She wasn't going to let this man, or anyone else, walk all over her. Her blood began to boil, but she kept her voice steady as she looked him in the eye. "I want to speak to someone above you, now." Mr. Thomas gave her a condescending smile. "I told you, there's no one else." Maria took a deep breath. "If I don't get an explanation right now, I will take this higher. Do you understand me?" Mr. Thomas shrugged nonchalantly, clearly not taking her seriously. "Do what you need to do," he said, walking away to speak with another staff member. Maria couldn't believe the audacity. How was he so calm, so dismissive? She had a sinking feeling that he wasn't going to budge. But Maria wasn't backing down. She quickly pulled out her phone and called customer service, hoping they would clear up the issue. As she was on the phone with a representative explaining the situation, something inside her began to shift. The more she thought about how she was being treated, the angrier she became. When the representative confirmed that there was no hold on her account and no reason why she shouldn't be allowed to withdraw her money, Maria's blood began to boil. She thanked the representative and hung up the phone, her mind already working through her options. In a flash of inspiration, Maria knew what she had to do. She marched back up to the counter where Mr. Thomas was now standing, looking smug, as if he had won. She took a deep breath and then said the words that would change everything. "You're fired." Mr. Thomas froze. "What?" he asked, his voice shaky, clearly taken aback by her sudden boldness. "I'm firing you," Maria said calmly. "You've humiliated me, and I'm not going to let you treat me or any other customer like this. I'll be contacting corporate and making sure they know how you've treated me. You've lost your job today." Maria's words hit him like a slap in the face. He sputtered for a moment, clearly struggling to comprehend what had just happened. He tried to regain control, but it was clear he had lost the battle. Maria wasn't just another customer. She was a woman who refused to be disrespected. Within 7 minutes, the tables had completely turned. Maria left the bank, walking out of the door with a sense of satisfaction. She had stood up for herself and in doing so, had shown everyone watching that no one, no matter their position, should ever be allowed to abuse their power. As she walked out into the sunlight, her phone rang again. This time, it was the bank's corporate office, apologizing for the behavior of their manager. They promised to investigate the incident and assured Maria that they would take action. She smiled to herself. Sometimes standing up for what's right meant shaking things up a little. In the end, Maria's boldness didn't just resolve her problem, it sent a clear message. Never underestimate a woman who knows her worth and isn't afraid to demand respect. Conclusion: Maria's story is a testament to the power of standing up for oneself in the face of injustice. What started as a simple bank withdrawal turned into a confrontation that would lead to immediate consequences for the manager who thought he could dismiss her. It's a reminder that no matter who you are or what your appearance may suggest, your voice has power, and sometimes that's all you need to take control of your own destiny.